Hey, what's up? It's Stylesbyreerachelle here with another hair tutorial with one of my beautiful clients. Today she's going to be getting a frontal sew-in, and we are using the Hair So Fab. I want y'all to enjoy this video, but before we start, I need y'all to stop, like, and subscribe to my channel. Okay, so let's get into it. As you can see, I already braided her hair down to a flat foundation. Rule number one, always have a flat foundation, okay? The foundation is also the thing that you need to have in order to get the perfect style that you desire, okay? So don't do nothing quick. Take your time with the foundation. So we're using 3 bundles of 24 inches today. And we're going to start off with just basically securing the thread into the weft. So I did that, and we're going to secure it onto her braids. So with securing it into the braids, this is what you guys have to know. Make sure that that end piece is always secure. So with that being said, just make sure that you loop it 5 times before starting. We're just going to continue the process, and we're going to loop that weft. I'm going to give y'all a tutorial of how to loop the weft because I need that to be, demonstrated for y'all, because I feel like that's like one thing that a lot of people don't do, and because they don't do it, they cut the wefts. It's always good to loop the weft so that the client can reuse the hair or whatever she wants to do with it next. If she want to do a ponytail, she don't have to worry about piecing the hair together. So that is the reason why I like to loop the wefts at the ends. When you do what y'all get what I'm saying, when y'all do it, make sure that it is secure and it is not bulky, okay? We don't want bulky sew-ins. No, we're not doing that. So the best way to do that is make sure that you are going in and out with it. As you can see, I am making sure that it is secure. I felt like I was at that spot for like a good hot minute, okay? And it's good to do that as a stylist because it's like you making sure that that client is getting that proper sew-in. When I tell you my clients come to me and I don't hear about a track loose, I don't hear nothing. The reason why is because I make sure that the sewing is secure. So I want to make sure that everybody is, on the right page with me with this learning process of doing the sewing, that you know how to do everything. When somebody comes to you with pieces of bundles or anything, you know how to piece it together. And when a client comes to you with new bundles, you know how to work with it. And hey, she turn around and say, hey, I don't want my wefts cut, you need to know how to loop those tracks so that that client can be happy, right? So that tutorial is most definitely coming up next. So with the process of this, I'm just going to continue to just do what I need to do with the client and the sewing. So we're just going to basically continue the process over and over. As you can see, I'm on that part of looping. I basically folded the track, and I'm going to just continue to just keep looping and making sure that it is secure. One of the key steps of making it secure when you are doing a client's hair is pulling that track once it's secure at the end, okay? So don't necessarily just go into fold in and then you do one thread through and then you pull the track. No, secure it 5 times at least, then pull the track and then continue to sew. So what I like to do is once I get to 2 bundles, I stop sewing, because you never know with the closure or frontal of where it ends, right? So I'm going to start on the front. What I'm using right now is basically the Got To Be glue gel, and this is just basically a method I use to pull the hair back and get the free hairs away from her face. So I'm going to basically pull her hair back. I swear my clients be like, ooh, this feels good. Every time I do this part, it be so funny. I just be doing my thing, y'all. I just really make sure that the hair is pushed back. It looked like it feel good, low key. But yeah, I just make sure I push it back. Next thing I'm going to do is use a stocking cap. I love using my stocking caps. Y'all know Rochelle loves stocking caps. I think I say that on all my tutorials. Like, I love stocking caps. I love you, y'all. So I'm using the stocking cap. As you can see, she has a mask on. I'm maneuvering over the mask. The mask is not going to stop me from doing what I need to do, okay? Boom. And she going to continue to wear her mask, and that's on COVID-19. So I'm going to cut around the ear, and the reason why I like to cut around the ear is because it, like, you see how the stocking cap is just basically onto her head, almost like, you know, it's secure. It's making it more secure. So what I like to do is just basically do the Got To Be, spray the Got To Be on top of the Got To Be gel. I'm only spraying a little bit because I don't like to use too much of the alcohol, because alcohol dehydrates and it makes some of the edges get, you know, dry, and that can lead to, you know, hair loss. So I make sure I don't use as much. I'm going to sew along the perimeter of what I think the frontal is going to last up to. I always guess it right, to be honest. That's because I'm so seasoned and I do this thing. But how to guess it is basically of where you stopped at the braid. Just imagine when you put your frontal on. It's always extra space that you're going to use away from the client. So you want to make sure that you're, you know, in between that mark. So that's how I judge mine. A lot of people measure it onto the client's head, but me, I just really just head guess it because I've been doing this for a while. I ain't trying to brag or anything, but that's just how I do it. So I just basically measure it on my eye. But what you can do is basically put it onto your head and measure it, and then make a guideline somewhere. Whether it's with your braids or whether it's with a needle and thread, whatever you want to do, you could do it that way. So at this part, it is dry, and I'm going to basically cut off the excess stocking cap that does not need to be molded onto her skin, and we're going to continue to, you know, just cut it along with her hairline. Alright, so as y'all can see, I am done with that process, and I'm applying alcohol just to make sure that all oily substance or anything that was on her face is off her face. I'm also going to put some skin protect on her, because skin protect is the best way to, you know, continue to protect your client. I got the skin protect from Bold Hold. Not Bold Hold, the hair diagram. I don't know why I always say that, but the hair diagram. Right now I'm going to use some makeup just so the makeup can match onto her skin, and as you can see, it is matching perfectly. I like to just apply it onto the top layer. I don't apply it all through, you know, the cap, because, you know, your front of your hair is never the same color as your skin or your scalp. You get what I'm saying? So your scalp is always light skin, but the front of your hair is always like the same complexion as your skin on your face, because, you know, it's getting closer to the sun. You know, it's getting that sunlight like your face gets your sunlight. So that's what I like to do. So I'm applying my first layer of the hair diagram Bold Hold glue, and I like to, you know, do my dots and smear. As you smear, it's basically like a way you need to smear. You don't basically smear with a lot of pressure. You basically get in tune with the consistency that the glue has, and you apply it as it should be applied. As you can see on this side, it is basically dry. So once it's dry, you apply, okay? Dry, then apply. Dry, then apply. So I'm going to apply this next coat. So we are on our second coat of the boho glue. While I'm applying this coat on this side, the other side is drying. As y'all can see, that process is basically a process I love using, because it's like you timing yourself, and you also giving your, giving the glue the, time to do what it need to do while you're working on the other side, okay? So you can actually see as it dries to a clear look. So that's how you know when your glue is dry. I like to use boho. Boho is like the best for me. And when you use it, just make sure that you are using it right, okay? Because that's how you get your proper meltdowns. I'm going to tell you that. If you're not using the product right, you're not going to get the, desirable look that you're supposed to be getting. You feel me? Like, can't be out here just buying stuff and not using it right. So, as y'all can see, this side is dry. The visible side that y'all can see, it is dry. But I'm going to apply another coat. I love just using enough coats just so my client can get, that durability. Like, I don't hear from my clients whether like 2 a week. I would say like 2 to 3 weeks they come back to me. And that's a good thing. They're getting what they're paid for. You get to experience, a longer, look, other than, I got to come back a week later because my lace is lifting. Oh, by the way, my lace lift in 2 or 3 days. No, it should never happen like that. So make sure that when you apply that glue, y'all are applying that glue, taking steps, take your time, do not rush. Especially if you're new at doing hair, do not rush, take your time. Think about it before you do it. So you're going to dry, then apply. That is exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to use the blow dryer as well. I'm making sure that it is dried all the way, because you cannot apply the lace when it's not dry all the way. So on this side, obviously, I felt like I needed some more glue. So I just popped some more glue on the side of her hair, because, baby, when Reerachelle put the lace on, it's going to be on. So, yeah, we're going to continue to do this until it's dry. As you can see on this part, it is dry. So now we are getting to the point of applying that lace. Alright, ladies, so we are getting to the part of applying that lace onto the client's hair. So what I like to do is just basically cut in the middle of the lace. This is a way I distinguish the middle part, okay? So we're going to line it up in the middle of her head, middle of her nose, okay? So that's how I'm distinguishing, basically the measurements. So I'm just going to apply it, and when I apply it, I do not put any pressure on it at first, but only pressure that I do apply is when I bring out that comb. When I bring out that comb, that is when my lace is going to be, melted and continue to do what it needs to do. You just press down onto it. Do not press hard, because you don't want to smush it in. That's why I like to use my comb. Okay, so this part we are just basically gonna cut off any lace that we don't need, any hair that we don't need that did not make the cut. When I say that, that means that the glue did not apply onto the lace, so that means that it needs to be cut. So I'm just gonna cut around her ear, cut around her perimeter of the frontal. Make sure that you are not cutting your client. So that's why I like to cut in an upward motion. If you cut downward, it's more likely that you can grab skin. But with this part, please take your time. There's no rush. Just pay attention to this video as I cut, and you should not have no problems with applying your frontal on your client or yourself. Okay, so I'm going to just tweeze any excess hair that I feel like does not need to be on to her frontal. As I'm tweezing, I'm also preparing those baby hairs and pulling them forward so that I can form them and get along with the rest of the hairstyle. So I like to cut them, and with me, I like to make sure those baby hairs are laid, make sure they are looking natural, and cut and form the baby hairs before anything, okay, so that it can mold and do its thing while you do the next process. So let's do those baby hairs. We're going to tweeze, and we're also going to just apply mousse and also use the edge tool. And when you do the baby hairs, make sure that you are doing it in a C motion. This is how you get the baby hairs that are in my video, is doing it in the C motion. So basically grab your brush, apply it to the client, C motion, C motion. So it's almost like making like half of finger waves, if you get what I'm saying. Okay, so now that I'm done with the baby hairs, I'm just going to apply the edge scarf onto her so that it can basically do the melt down, make sure that it's secure while I do the rest of her hair. As I stated earlier in the video, that I did stop, so I still have to do some sewing. So this is just basically what you have to do so that it can get its proper melt down. Also make sure that the baby hairs are forming. You have to make sure that it is secure. So I'm going to sew down the frontal so that I can start on my next bundle, which will be my last bundle to install into her hair. Okay, so I'm going to continue on to the process of sewing her hair, and this is the last bundle, and we're gonna do what we stated earlier in the video. If you have not watched early in the video, you need to go back. Okay, no skipping. Don't skip through. Go back right now. I'm just saying. Okay, look, we gonna do the same thing we did earlier. Okay, sew it on the side, sew it 5 times. Okay, pull that thread, pull that head, pull her bundles, and get that bread. Okay, we gonna keep on doing the process until we are closing up that gap. Okay, y'all, if y'all don't understand that, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so we are finishing up on to the next part, which will be styling. I'm going to basically do something very simple, and I'm going to use mousse. The mousse that I'm using today is the Lotta Body mousse, and this could be purchased at the beauty supply. I'm just going to apply this onto her hair and just brush it through. So this is not the final product, but I just wanted to show y'all how you can switch it up when you get a frontal sew-in. This is basically an up and down, and right now she is going to do a side part. Her ending style is going to be a side part, but I just wanted to show y'all like what frontals can do, because a lot of people get hairstyles and they don't switch it up. They just think that they're just conformed to one thing. No, you're not. When it comes to a frontal, you can switch it up and do whatever. You can add braids, get it up and down, do the 2 pieces of hair down. Just have fun with your hair. That's all I'm saying. So I'm just going to basically tweeze that line of where her part is going to be, and do some extra tweezing that I think that needs to be done. And I'm very passionate about what I do, and I make sure everything looks good. I'm just that type of stylist. Okay, so I'm gonna spray it, make sure that everything is molded and in place. What I like to do at the end is, as any other video, I like to press down the top of her hair, because this is the finishing product of my lovely client. I hope y'all enjoyed this video of this frontal install. Do not forget to like and subscribe. See you later. Love you. Bye.